Hey there, Purple Girl here. So today I wanted to talk about seeds with you a little bit. A couple of things about seeds. I want to talk about how I choose my seeds for the next gardening season, how I determine kind of what I'm going to buy, and how I store my seeds, and I also still need to deal with all the seeds I collected out in my yard this year, and I need to make sure they're going to grow for me and get them put away in a better packaging so that I can store them in my seed storage and know where they are and find them easily. This isn't going to work when I'm in the hectic time of seed starting and looking for seeds. I'll forget about these or think I lost them. In the spring, a lot of us, well, all year long really, a lot of us start to get these seed catalogs. In the fall, I get the bulb catalogs. You can get lots of catalogs from lots of different companies, and it's really tempting for me to just go through these catalogs and choose my seeds by what I see and what's exciting. And that can be fun, but that can lead to having so many seeds that you can't possibly grow them all in a single season, and you're going to wind up with so many seeds that it just becomes overwhelming. At least that's my feeling on it. So what I like to do is first make a list or garden plan. And I have mine here. This is last year's, I believe, yeah. And this is this year's. So I have my whole garden drawn out, and I have other videos about this in the past. So I have my whole garden drawn out on here, and I actually just have grid paper that I have photocopied so that I can just easily grab it whenever I am ready to do this, and I don't have to re-measure everything and figure it out. Not that it's super difficult to do, but it just makes this even faster. And I have a few freestanding beds and large pots that I also plant my vegetables in, so I have those on the other side. So then I go through and I decide, okay, what did I grow this year? Was there anything that I didn't grow that I missed that I wished I had grown? Is there anything that I had way too much of, or maybe I've been growing it for a few years and it's just consistently not doing well, and maybe I just want to stop playing around with that and giving up garden space to that, because though I have a pretty nice sized yard for being in an urban space, I'm always looking to maximize what I can get out of that space. And sometimes I just have too many things crammed in because I'm trying to grow so many things. So I always try, when I draw out the plan, to be reserved and not have too much in there. Now, that doesn't say that in spring I don't start throwing a few extra things in here and there, but I try to at least start out with a reasonable plan. So I decide what I want to grow and I try and fit it all in. And then I look at, okay, if I'm going to have my tomatoes in this bed and this is the only space I'm giving to them, how many tomato plants do I have room for in this 4x8 space? And then I look at, okay, with that amount of plants, what varieties do I want the most from that space? So, I might want to grow 14 varieties of tomatoes, but in reality, I only have room for maybe 2 plants each of 4 varieties. So I need to really hone down what I want to grow. So once I have that list all figured out of what I'm going to grow, same with squash is another one that's really hard for me. I'll okay, this is the space I'm giving for myself for squash this year. That's X amount of plants. So which of the many varieties of squash that I want to grow am I going to actually grow in this coming season? And then I make a list. I make a list of what plants or what vegetables I'm going to grow. So like here I have beans, I have bush beans and pole beans written down, beets, cabbage, cauliflower. So just a very general idea first. So I make sure I get all of those types of food that I want to grow onto my kind of map plan here. And then I will narrow it down even more. So for my tomatoes, I have the varieties of tomato that I want to grow, and I have how many of each variety that I want to grow written down beside it. And that helps me to narrow things down. And so then I know what seeds I need. Then I go into my seed storage. So this is my vegetable seeds here. This is my flower seeds. And I find my, again, let's say my peppers. Okay, so it says I wanted jalapeno peppers. So here's my container with the peppers in it. This is just a photo box. You probably see this on lots of gardening channels. There's just little photo cases. I'll leave a link if you're interested in this below. You can also get it at craft stores and things. So just watch the prices. Sometimes it's cheaper on Amazon. Sometimes it's cheaper locally. Right on top of my peppers, I have Monet listed here. Well, do I want Monet peppers? Well, I have jalapenos and I have 3. Monet is a type of jalapeno pepper, and it's one that I really like. So yeah, these are something I want. Now, for some reason, I have 2 packs, and this is why I try to be restrained when I'm planning and purchasing. Sometimes I still make mistakes, but I try not to. Anyway, so I would take these Monet and I'm like, okay, I have those. I don't need any more. There's lots. I can tell there's lots in these packages. I'm good for those. What's another kind I want? Sweet Sunrise. So find that package. Here it is. And I can open it up. Have a look at what's in there. I want to get 2 plants and I have probably a dozen seeds in there. So I know I have plenty of seed to even have a few not germinate and still have lots to go. So if there's something on this list that I don't have, either I've emptied the package completely or I don't have enough seeds. I like to have at least 3 seeds per plant that I actually want to grow, especially if they're older seeds. Because the older the seed is, the less chance of it germinating and germinating well for me. So I always look to have, like if I want 2 plants of something in the end, I want to have at least 6 of those seeds in the package to start and get going. That way I'll probably only start 2 per plant, but I'll have some backups if I need them. So I go through there and anything that I need to order, I make a note of, and I usually just have a sticky note. I don't have it here because I've already used it. So that's what I do. That's how I figure it. I figure out what I actually need. It seems so simple and obvious, but I'll tell you, it is so easy if you just open up these seed catalogs and think, what do I want and what am I going to grow? And you look at this, especially with the lettuces, you would not believe how many lettuces, different types of greens that I have seed for. And it's because I open these catalogs and they all look delicious. The same with the squash or the pumpkins. Look at all the fun and exciting types of pumpkins I could grow. I want them all. But in reality, I can't grow them all. I don't have room for them all, and I don't need to be saving seeds that I'm never going to be able to grow, or I won't be able to grow for years, and then maybe by the time I do try to start them, they're not viable anymore for one reason or another, or I've moved on to some other exciting type of squash or pumpkin, and I'm not even interested in it anymore. So I try really hard to be restrained with my list, with my plan, and then I like to look at these, but I usually look at them later. I like to go online because then I can type in exactly what I want. If I want a candy cane pepper, I'll type that into my search bar and see if that company sells it. And then I actually go through several companies that sell the same thing and I compare prices because I'm frugal. And let's face it, seed prices have gone up quite a bit in the last couple of years. So I want to get the best bang for my buck. So I look at how many seeds are in a pack. Do I need that many seeds in a pack? Is it actually a deal? So I look at that. And then I choose and I make my list. And I usually order from 2 or 3 places, depending on what I need and what the prices are like. That's how I choose my seeds and get them ordered and coming in. Now, that's not to say that I don't get distracted sometimes. I don't see something that's really enticing and exciting, and I start adding to cart. I mean, it's easy to do, but I try so hard not to. With most of the vegetables, I've gotten really good about not purchasing things that I don't need or want and I'm not going to grow that year. My flowers, on the other hand, I'm not as organized with because I'm not an actual flower farmer, so I'm not trying to meet so many orders. I'm just trying to make my yard beautiful and have a few flowers for me to make bouquets. So I'll look back over my season that I've just had. I'll look at photos, I'll look at the bouquets I made, any notes that I might have written down about how things grew, and I'll think, do I want more of this? Did I really like this flower combination in this pot? Was there more filler flowers or more thriller type flowers that I wanted, especially in bouquets? And then I start writing down different varieties that I might want, or different types of flowers that I might want. And then I will try and narrow it down even more, look and see what I have, if I can use anything I already have for those things. Maybe I just didn't have them planted that year. After I've done all that and I have my little list, I start going online, and flowers are what get me. And I do tend to usually pick up a few more than I need, but I try really, really hard. Sunflowers especially. Is it just me? Sunflowers, I could buy all the sunflowers. I don't have room for all the sunflowers. They're tall, they're big plants. I don't have the space for that unless I just want an entire sunflower garden. So I have a lot of varieties of sunflowers in seed form, and who knows when I'll get to growing them. But I do try to be restrained. I have purchased a few seeds, and you might be surprised at how few seeds. I haven't even opened this one. Oh, hopefully the order's right. I forgot this one came in just as I was leaving town. A lot of these are going to be flower seeds because I do have a really good selection of vegetable seeds. And with a vegetable plant, often, you know, you plant one seed and you can get quite a bit off of it as far as a harvest, you know, unless you're planting like a beet or a parsnip seed. But even then, they usually come in packs with quite a few in them. Whereas flowers, I'm going to plant and use, you know, maybe 50 in a space of each thing, so I often use up the packs. But quick little separation here. So the first thing that I wanted to make sure to purchase this year was I needed more Lena's beans. And I went to plant my beans last year. I realized I had way less Lena's beans than I thought I did. And I really like these. They're a white bean. They have a great story behind them, but they're a heritage bean. And they're great. I save them, I dry them, and that's what I like them for, is a dried bean. So I wanted to make sure that I got a new pack of them ordered. So that was way top on my list. I also needed more black turtle beans. I could have saved, I had enough. I could have saved a few from my stock that I used for food, but then it would have cut down on how many I had for food. So I just went ahead and ordered some more of those as well. My onions, I was out of fresh seed. I have a little bit of saved seed, but it didn't produce very nice onions for me last year. So I thought I'm just going to start with a whole new set of onion seeds. And these are Ailsa Craig. I've never grown these before, but I've heard good things about them, and they're supposed to do quite well in my climate. So I'm hoping that I will have good luck with the Ailsa Craigs. I also have used up a lot of my herbs. Oh yeah, the Pioneer Snacker cucumber. I wanted another just smaller, easy to just grab and eat cucumber. These work well. I've used them for pickling and just for fresh eating, and they're just a nice size little cucumber, and I was completely out, so I needed more of those. And then I grabbed mint. I love to have mint around my yard, and sometimes I can't just find the seed. I used to be able to just get the seed locally when it was time to grow, but lately I haven't been able to. I've been able to find spearmint. So I actually found just regular mint, and I prefer that. I actually use it. Might sound crazy, I'll rub it like on my legs or my arms if the mosquitoes or the no-see-ums are out really bad. And often that's all I need to kind of deter them from biting me. Now, they don't attack me a lot, so if you're really prone to bug bites, probably not enough. But for me, I like to have mint around the yard because I'll just rub it on my skin, and it seems to keep the nasties from biting me. And I like the smell of it, and I like to put it in things, so it's nice to have. This is just some dark green parsley, and all I have right now is I think it's called like Giant Italian or something, and it's a much bigger, rougher parsley plant, and I like it, and it's nice. I actually think it's a decorative parsley, but I wanted some smaller parsley as well, so I just needed to get a pack of those, and that's all I ordered for vegetables. That happens. And some people would say to me, well, that's why you should always order lots and lots and lots of everything every time you use it up. But, you know, sometimes I don't want some things, or it's good to try new things. So I'm okay with that. Then my flowers, I went through, and again, I didn't buy a ton. there's a chance when the seeds come out in the stores in the spring that I will impulsively put more flowers in my cart as I'm going by for other things, but these were kind of what I wanted the most of. So I really enjoyed the asters in my garden this year for cut flowers. So I wanted some more asters, and I found this Pavlova dark blue. It's supposed to be deep indigo. I thought that would be fun to play with. Let's see what other cut flowers I have here. More Bee's Friend. I was right out of Bee's Friend. It's a nice cut flower, but even more than that, it's just nice to have. It does attract the pollinators. It's easy to grow, and I mean, it prefers sun, but I find I can tuck it into some somewhat shady places and still have a plant. Larkspur was a free gift, but I will definitely put that to use. I think I was actually looking for larkspur last year and never found it in time to grow it, and now I have some. Strawflower, another one I really like to use and utilize for cut flowers, and to make a few dried flower arrangements for at the end of the season. And I just didn't have as many as I thought I did when I went to plant them last year, so this gives me some more. I think I saved a few seeds as well from that, so should have lots. Pansies. Pansies, I don't know what it is, but they are getting crazy expensive in price. So I love pansies. You used to be able to just go pick up a flat of them for a couple of bucks at the garden center, but now they're quite expensive, and even the seeds are getting expensive. So I guess they're having some sort of new excitement in the whole pansy world that everyone wants pansies. But I found these are Ocean Breeze Matrix, and they're a large pansy. I like to have pansies, especially in the spring, early in the season. I can often get pansies out, you know, they'll take a light frost, I find, if you've hardened them off properly, and they'll come back and start blooming again for you at the end of the season when other things have died back. So it's nice to have a few pansies in areas, especially that I'm going to see from the house, when the weather's maybe kind of not as nice and I don't want to be out in it as much, but I still want to see some color out in the yard. I decided to try stalks this year. I don't think I've ever grown stalk before, but it's supposed to be a really nice plant to have. I think I've purchased it once or twice, so I've never grown. I don't think I've grown it from seed. Correct me if I'm wrong and I've forgotten. But so I wanted to pick some up, and I grabbed this dwarf 10-week stalk. That's an annual. I think all the flowers here were annuals. The bee flower and the straw flower will self-seed a little bit if you let them. Angelonia. Now, I grew this last year from seed. I told myself I wasn't going to do it again because I didn't have great germination. The seeds are extremely expensive. You don't get very many. It doesn't say on the pack what is in here. I think there's like maybe 10 seeds, and this was the most expensive seed I purchased. Little tiny vial, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 seeds in there. But I really like Angelonia, and this was one of those things that when I was looking through the seeds, it wound up in my cart. So I'm going to try it again. Maybe I'll get better at it. And then Impatiens, I normally collect a lot of seed from Impatiens, but this is the white, which I don't really have anymore. A lot of mine are very generic, kind of orangey, reddy, yellow Impatiens, and I wanted the white to I like to have white flowers to have a nice contrast in my arrangements out in my flower pots, so I decided to pick up a pack of white Impatiens. That's all the seeds I have ordered since I shut down my garden this year. Now, I did go in the spring as I emptied out some of my packs of things that I know I use all the time, like some of the cauliflower and broccoli, cabbage that I grow every year. When I emptied those packs, I purchased more because I used those again in the fall or late summer to reseed and grow more of them, a lot of them. And it's something that I don't want to wind up without. So I wanted to make sure that I got those because they are things that I definitely want to plant and have to grow every year. And so I just made sure to refill some of those types of things. The same with some of my peas. I think I had purchased in the spring some more of the Green Arrow peas that I was low on. So I did order a few things you know, like in the late spring, early summer, that I had just, when I emptied those packages of those items, I had just put them to the side by my computer. I wrote empty on them so I didn't accidentally go and refile them. And I just reordered those when I had a few minutes and could do that. So these aren't all the new seed packs that I ordered in 2023, but this is the vast majority. This is how I try to keep it very small with my orders. Like I said, I ordered a few that I knew were empty and I knew I wanted. Most seeds will last for years and years and years. There's a few that don't carry over as well from year to year. But things like peas, cauliflower, broccoli, like those seeds, they'll last forever. Some of those things I just reorder as I empty them if there's something that I know I'm going to want from year to year. So now that I have these seed packs, I need to put them away. And obviously I haven't done that yet. Before I put them away, I try to remember to write on them. So these are for the 2024 season, essentially. I mean, they came at the end of 2023, but they'll be getting open 2024 or later. And so I just label them 2024. That way, if I had a pack that was a little bit older, just had a few seeds in it, and I was just topping up my supplies, I know which one is older. Yes, these are unopened, but sometimes, you know, a person just gets in a rush and opens the wrong one. Well, then you realize later you have 2 open seed packs, so which one's older? You want to use those up first. This way, I know which is the oldest, and I can use that as a reference. Also, as the years go by and I still have some Ailsa Craig onions, and I read on the package that it says 2024 and it's now 2029 and somehow I still have seeds left, they're probably not good. Onion seeds usually don't last very well, so I would want to do a germination test on those and see if they're actually going to germinate ahead of when I want to start growing them, so I could see what kind of rate I'm going to get, if any, and if I need to get more. So once they're all labeled, I will just sort them out into the correct container here. So I have my vegetables sorted out kind of by the type of vegetable. Some of them are sorted together. Like I have my broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, cabbage, cauliflower, all in this container, because usually if I'm planting one of those, I'm planting several. And so I just grab that one out. I try to keep all of my lettuces, spinaches, Swiss chard, things like that are all in what I've labeled leafy greens. So anyways, they're just kind of in alphabetical order through here. Makes it easy to find what I want, put them away. My flower seeds, I do a little bit differently, and I have them labeled native plants. And then they're labeled February, early March, early April, late April, May, and then I have one just for sunflowers because, like I said, I have a problem with not buying sunflower seeds. So what I do with these is I look at the package. It says start inside 6 to 8 weeks before planting out. Then I look, okay, this is asters. When can I plant them out? I'm going to be able to plant them out after my average last frost because they're asters, they're frost tender. So I would look on a calendar, and I label my calendars for my last frost date. And again, I have a video about this, so I can link it below. But I print out the months of the year, blank sheets, and this is my planting guide. And so I can look on here. May 14 is my week 0. That's around my average last frost date, the 14th to the 20th. So that won't work. So what did I say? 6 to 8 weeks. So that is around early April into late March. So I would probably, with the asters, they grow pretty well. They grow pretty quickly, and I would put them down probably in my early April container. Now, if early April is just crazy busy with planting, and maybe I flip it over and my late March isn't as busy, then that's where I might put the asters, because if that's when I'm going to have more time to get them planted, that week or two difference in there isn't going to really matter, and it just makes it easier for me as I'm planning things out. So that's how I decide where to sort my flowers into, and that makes it easy. So then I can just grab out my February container here, and when it's February now, Obviously in February, I'm not planting as much as some of the other months, so I just have it just February in general. But I can just grab it out. I'll sort through and see what's going to be wanting to be planted early February versus late February. Most of it's going to be late. And I can just plant those out throughout the month or the weeks of time as I have time available to do that. And it makes it easy. And then I'm like, okay, February's done. Put it back. You know, okay, now we're into early March. And I know what I'm working on, and it helps me to organize my time and my seed starting easily. Because I find once we get into seed starting, it can get really crazy busy, especially with me trying to do videos about a lot of it as well. So for me, that just makes it easier to have them organized that way. Everybody's gonna have their own way that their brain works and their organization works for them, but I'm just sharing what I have that works for me. I also have in my flowers my reorder bucket. And so like I said, I'll just stick the seed packs in here, and then this winds up just sitting out by my computer. Now some of these I tried to reorder this year and I couldn't find these varieties. So then I went through them and I'm like, how much do I really like this variety? How much am I going to want to continue looking for it maybe later in the winter? Because sometimes the seed stock changes with the companies, right, as the year goes by. Or am I going to want to order them in subsequent years? And so any of those, which you can see there's quite a few here, I opted to keep these packs, and I will go back through these probably in a couple of months and reorder. Now some of them do have like 1 or 2 seeds in them, so the trick is going to be remembering not to forget to plant those couple of seeds. But most of them I've labeled, you can see empty or empty, order more. I've been trying to get better about being organized and not just randomly ordering a zillion things. This video is getting really long. I think we're into half an hour already, but I want to just really quickly try and show you what I'm going to do with these saved seeds and get them organized, because this is ridiculous. So here's the lean as beans I did manage to grow this year. This is all I got. I just had like 3 beans, a couple plants of them this year. This is all I wound up getting off them. So I've saved these completely for stock, but I wanted to make sure that I had more because that's not enough. And then I have some sweet lipstick pepper seeds here. So I'm gonna have those to put away. And those I'm pretty secure in that they should be good quality seed. I'm just looking, do I have actually something in here? What in the world? Oh, golly. Okay, so I had saved, I forgot I did this. I had saved some of the seeds out of the pepita. I'm not sure if that's what it was called. It's a pumpkin that has hull-less seeds. I don't know, they don't seem like much. So I had saved these, I'd let them dry out on here, and then I had rolled it up because I was busy. So I need to deal with these. So what I want to do with these is I want to actually I'll probably take, how many do I have here? I have 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, I'll probably take like half of them, and I'm going to do a germination test. And that's the thing I wanted to show you anyway. So let's do it with them. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7 random seeds here. Is that 7? Yeah. To do a germination test, and you've probably seen this before, but some of you haven't. So I just want to make sure that you know if you haven't done this before. You want a couple of basic supplies, and you can vary the supplies a little if you want. Like you could use a coffee filter instead of a paper towel, or a napkin, whatever. Just you need something that's going to hold a little bit of moisture without being sopping wet, and some sort of vessel to hold the moisture in. You could reuse like a plastic container or something, put it in a food storage container, but this just works for me. I'm going to label this as the hull-less pumpkins. I'm going to write down that I had 7 seeds, though they're big enough I should know that. And the date today is January 5th, 24. So what I want to do is I'm just want to lightly spray this towel. So I'm just making this toweling just damp. Like the edges out here are almost slightly dry still, but the bottom here is all damp. I really don't think these seeds are going to do much, but I'm just going to line them up across the towel. Try and evenly, oh, this part's dry. Try and evenly space them out across this paper towel here. And then I'm going to fold it over So they're just staying moist. You know, like if you think about how you would keep your soil dampness when you're starting seeds, you know, you don't want it waterlogged, or you don't want it drying out. I'm just gonna put it in this baggie. And I'm not gonna like seal it up, but I'll probably come every day. I'll try and remember to just kind of open it a little bit, let some air move around. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I don't want it to get like so anaerobic in there. Like I don't want no oxygen moving around and the whole thing just starts molding. We don't want that. And this can just go somewhere just out in a room. Like you don't want to stick it in a drawer in complete darkness or anything, but somewhere where you're gonna see it. And then now these are pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds can usually sprout anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. It really depends on the variety, the conditions and that. So I will be checking these probably every 2 days now to see if any of them sprout. And if they do, what percentage. I'll do a little math at the end of the, like, I'd probably give these 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, if nothing has sprouted, these are duds. I'll just throw all the rest of the seeds away. They're duds. Get rid of them. They're done. If I have like 2, I'll figure out the percentage. Well, is that worth saving? Do I want to try and grow these again? Do I want to save these, plant all of these, and hope I get 1 plant, you know? But that's what I'm going to do with these. And you just wait, and that's all you're doing. You're not going to actually plant these again. Now, if it was close to your growing season, you could try and plant up any that sprout. But at this time in January, I'm not going to be doing that. They'll just go in the garbage. It seems like a waste, but it lets me know if I should bother saving these or continue to look for more seeds if I really want this variety. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to close this up again so I don't lose these. Now I also have a lot of different kinds of flower seeds. So some of them I know regrow easily, and some of them I'm not sure if they were worth saving seeds from. So some of them are like snapdragons. Snapdragon seeds, they save easy, they come back easy year after year. They're going to be easy. Nigella, again, comes back very easily year after year. What do I have in here? Like my calendula should come back year after year, but this is kind of a special variety, and so I don't know if it's going to be like my generic calendula that I've saved in the past and if it will come back easily. So I will probably do a germ test on it. I've had mixed results with the osteospermum before, so I'm going to do a germination test on those. Petunias, I have some petunia seeds saved here. I will do a little germination test on those. Usually they work for me, sometimes they don't. And again, I have some zinnias. I probably will do just a germination test just because I can, so I may as well. Let's find something, like I said, that I have. Like, here's my snapdragons. Okay. I also have some sunflower seeds in here, and I will do a germination test on those because I've never been very good at collecting sunflower seeds for using again. I know some people do it all the time. I just haven't figured it out. This year, I've always just put them in my extra seeds in little like pill bottles or wrap them in paper or whatever. But this year I decided to invest in some proper little envelopes. These have a little sticky. They're supposed to be resealable. Time will tell. I think it's like up to 5 or 10 times or something. I forget. They said you should be able to open and close them several times before they stop working. So I know this is my snapdragon. These are my miniature snapdragons that I have, that I collected the seed off of. I've always had really good luck with collecting my snapdragon seeds and having good germination from them. And there's so many oodles and oodles of seeds that you're going to get something out of them. So I'm not going to worry about doing a germination test. So I'm just going to write down, and this isn't a very specific variety, but it will be snapdragons miniatures on here. So these are just the shorter types of snapdragons. And then, I guess miniatures should have gone here in variety, but it's not an actual variety, but that's what I'll put there. And I don't have the actual date for some reason written on here, but I was just collecting them at the end of the 2023 season. So I'm just going to put autumn 2023, and I could put different notes if I wanted about them, like when I want to start them. And I will go through, when I go through to file it, I'll find where I usually keep these types of things. I'll look it up, I'll do some research, and then I will write like start, 8 to 10 weeks before your average last frost, frost tolerant, anything like that that I think I might need a little refresher of when I go to plant them, and I'll write that down there. And then I will put the seeds in this little envelope, seal it up, and I can store it in my little cases instead of having these giant bags that I'm trying to fold up and jam in there or find some other container for it that's not ideal. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my seeds to get them organized, started, and see which of these seeds I saved are worth continuing to save. I know this was a really long video, but hopefully for anyone that was kind of wondering about how I pick my seeds or how I store my seeds or what I do with all these seeds that I save, maybe there was something in here, if maybe the germination test was a new thing for you. Hopefully you found something in this video that was helpful to you, that you enjoyed. If you want to see me start all these seeds and be growing these plants in my garden, then just keep on coming back, as I'll be starting my seeds well, you saw some of my flowers I start in February, so it won't be long for those. And then I'll be into the vegetables. And here in Saskatchewan, Canada, we have a really fast season. We have I think I have 110 frost-free days, something like that. Maybe a few more as the years have changed, but so it's a fast season. I grow a lot I start a lot inside. I get them all planted out, take care of them, harvest them, and save seeds for next year and start it all over again. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.